I'm Kyle Johnson.
And I'm Evan Hodges, and we're with Bixy.
And Cider Works for us. Well, Bixy makes ads not suck. Online ads are terrible for consumers. We don't click on them, they annoy us. We install ad blockers, and they're wrecking the internet. It's not the ad agency's fault. It's the technology. The agencies, the creative people can, do a wonderful job, but the targeting's all off. We put consumers in charge, replace bad online ads with personalized rewards. The idea for Bixy came about really at first in about 2011, but there was a period of time where there was a shift from music to advertising over a couple of years. So we really talk about the beginning of Bixy more or less in January 2013. But startups take forever. We're building complicated technology, and nothing like Bixy exists. So it took us another couple of years after that just to learn about ad tech and figure out how to make it work. And then we spent another couple of years figuring out how to make it scale. And so now we've raised more capital, and in 2017, hopefully we'll start, to reach hundreds of thousands of users and start that scaling process. So the startup culture is generally very different from corporate culture, a lot more loose, a lot more free to create and kind of be yourselves than you typically might have in a really big company, because there's a lot less politics, there's a lot fewer people, and a lot more very clear direction. Here's what we absolutely must get done, in the next week, 2 weeks, month, 2 months. So it's easier to cut through the noise and get stuff done, but it's also easier to have fun because we're small and we can do whatever we want as long as we get the job done. So
I think for me, the bootstrapping aspect that was challenging at the early time, when it was just me and you, was the ambiguity when you're feeling like, we're not making as much progress as you'd like. And so that was something really challenging. I think all entrepreneurs and startup employees at the early stages have to focus on and rationalize.
Feats of Strength, which is kind of a running contest that can cover physical strength or mental strength or really just any trash talking related competition, came about because I'm just really ridiculously competitive constantly in just about everything. And so it started with trash talking and turned into an organized, point-based, ongoing system to quantify the trash talking and make sure that I can let Evan know that I am better than him in just about every conceivable way.
Yeah, I don't really have any way to argue that point against me, but I do think the Feats of Strength is a great way for us as a team building. Everyone to have a laugh, take a step back from the stressful day, and just have fun. So
yeah, Feats of Strength board. You have to keep track of points in games played so that you can kind of have a batting average of sorts.
Yeah, this is, man.
Look at that, utter destruction.
I think Cider Gallery for us has been such a great advantage just with all the different people's career paths and knowledge. We've got access to lawyers, graphic designers, with also just the ability to bounce ideas off people that don't have a bias on what we come from as far as our industry. So I think that's the most tangible thing I've taken away from being able to work at the Cider Gallery.
When I started the company, I worked out of a coffee shop a lot because I could work at home. But there's only so much time you can spend at home until you got to kind of get out and be around other people and kind of hold yourself accountable. So I started working in coffee shops, and I read an article the other day, actually, I think it was in the KC Business Journal or maybe Startland News, about how a lot of startups start out working in coffee shops, and there's a kind of coffee shop culture, but at some point you add team members, and the minute you add team members, that's no longer viable. And I think even the farm table option, I would have taken advantage of that had the Cider Gallery been around when I was in that kind of coffee shop mode, because you can just kind of come and work and get access to the printer, Wi-Fi, and kind of the amenities that you would need to have. Sometimes working in the coffee shop's great, but also you need to kind of have an actual office where you can do business. So we got a workstation, and then we got another workstation as we added more people, and then we got an office as the team continued to grow, and then we got 2 offices, and now we have 2 offices and people who work at the farm table. So it's been extremely scalable for us. If you were to go the other route, or the more traditional route, and get an office, then you're paying for one space that can't really scale up or down, and startups need to be able to scale up and down. It's better from a burn perspective, from a financial perspective, but also as the team grows, you're not constrained, and then you don't have to worry about real estate. Like, okay, well, that office now is no longer small enough. We need to move, into a new space. Well, we haven't moved. We've moved around the floor, but we haven't had to move buildings or worry about, complicated, maybe landlord kind of tenant issues. So,
For me, if there's one thing I could convey about the Cider Gallery, is just the overall community aspect that the co-working space brings. We've developed a lot of friendships and relationships with people that don't necessarily get in a different office space when you're secluded by yourself. So that's my biggest takeaway from the Cider Gallery, is just the overall community sense that I feel. We're a Lawrence-based startup. We want to continue to grow and help the local market, just not in Lawrence, but also Kansas City and the Midwest as a whole. So download Bixy, start saving money today. There's great local businesses here in Lawrence and Kansas City that you can save money with.
and I would say I'd kind of take it up, 20,000 feet, and say that we can build really innovative technology companies in the Midwest. You don't have to move to Silicon Valley or New York or Austin to do that kind of thing. We need places like the Cider Gallery, that allow us to kind of have a footprint that, can grow with us. But at the same time, we need everybody else in the Midwest kind of understanding what we're about, and that actually Bixy could be a pretty big deal. It's not right now. It's a startup. Nobody knows about us outside of maybe Lawrence and Kansas City. But we have big aspirations, and we want other people in the Midwest to have equally large aspirations as it comes to building highly scalable companies in the Midwest.